This year has been a weird one, and that goes for ride news as well. Let's take a look back at some of 2020's retro ride news. One of the first pieces of news of 2020 was the closure of Indiana Beach and Fantasy Island by the Apex Parks group. Both parks seem to have met their demise until an entrepreneur from Chicago saved Indiana Beach and a local group of investors, Empire Adventures, entered talks to buy Fantasy Island. Indiana Beach has now successfully reopened and rumours are circulating that Fantasy Island may be reimagined and reopened in 2021. The Empire Adventures group has been refurbishing rides for Fantasy Island this year, which looks very promising for the future. Quite early on in the year it was announced that Alpina Bahn, the Schwarzkopf travelling coaster, had got new trains from Gerstlauer. This was an obvious choice as Gerstlauer have an intertwined history with Schwarzkopf. Although I love the old school train design, the new trains pay homage to the old design and have multiple LED lights across the body which are sure to look great at the fairs after dark. Investment like this is a positive sign for the ride's longevity as well. Knoebels surprised us with their announcement to add a fourth lift hill to flying turns at the end of the ride. This modification will apparently reduce the amount of time it takes to open the ride and get it up and running again after weather-related closures. Despite this coaster being a recent build, it is the embodiment of historical coaster appreciation, so anything that is going to improve it is very much fine by me. After a run of around 48 years, it was announced that racing the Flitzer coaster at Bakken in Denmark was to close. This was initially a sad ending for the ride until it was revealed that it was bought by a Swedish showman and will hopefully reappear on the fair circuit soon. These rides are really great fun and there's not many of them around anymore, especially after Morris Piers closed theirs in 2018, so this is a happy ending for Flitzer fans. The company that ran Wick Steed Park in the UK, home of a vintage water chute, went into administration in June. The park was then saved by the formation of a new company along with public donations and money from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. The park held a successful Christmas event with plans to fully reopen in 2021. Hopefully this will secure the future of this historic park for years to come. In what is a contender for the craziest old ride news of 2020 was the return of a Schwarzkopf catapult. Only 5 of these coasters were ever built and they were believed to be an extinct ride type after the last catapult closed in 2016 and has been SBNO since. Many of the rest of the coasters were believed to have been scrapped, so when this machine appeared in photos it was quite the surprise. The coaster has been undergoing refurbishment in Germany with hopes to get it up and running on the German fair circuit soon. This is great news for Schwarzkopf fans as it will hopefully provide many more fans the chance to ride this unique and unusual coaster type. We then have the collection of news from La Feria de Chapultepec that I've covered in previous videos. After the park's fatal accident in 2019, it was announced that new operators were being sought for the park. This process involved the relocation of a number of rides, including Chimera that turned out to be going to Indiana Beach. There are now rumours that Cascabel 2.0 might be following it. New plans for the park show that the amusement park use will be kept with the addition of a live music venue. Unfortunately, this has meant that the Mobius wooden coaster Montagna Russa that is currently at the park is slated for demolition. A campaign is currently running to save the coaster. Kennywood recently announced the removal of 4 flat rides, including the rare Bay and Curve and one-of-a-kind kangaroo ride. This announcement was met with great protest both from the enthusiast community and the general public, as these rides are much-loved classics at the park. I've heard rumours that the rides have only gone into storage for now, and so I'd really like to see the Kangaroo and Bay and Curve stored and rebuilt later down the line, as the Bay and Curve has been in the past, or for other parks to be given the chance to buy them and keep them running. This piece of news was a real shame to hear. Staying with Bay and Curves, there's also evidence that a separate travelling Bay and Curve is floating around and is currently sitting in Knoebels' car park. That's definitely one to watch. So that wraps up this year's Retro Ride News Roundup. There's been a lot to take in and a surprising amount of positive news stories, especially given this year's context. What do you think of these stories? Which one surprised you the most? Let's hope 2021 is full of positive news. Thanks for watching and bye for now.